Grana we Ninibong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. So I've just got done watching the War for Cybertron trilogy for the second time now. I'm gonna dip into it for a third time now. I'm really enjoying it, guys. I hope you guys are too. And what I wanted to do now is I wanted to do a bit of a breakdown, really. I was going to do a longer kind of spoiler video, but instead what I've decided to do is I'm going to try and break down sections that I want to talk about and do this in more of a discussion video that's shorter, and we can have a bit of a chat about these things down in the comments. So this is the first discussion video, and the first thing that I wanted to really discuss and talk about in this is the animation. Now, on my side, I actually think the Rooster Teeth and AllSpark Studios have done a really good job on this. And guys, there will be spoilers during this video. If you want to see my non-spoiler review, then you can go over to my other review that I've done, which is completely spoiler free. I'll post the link here now. It should appear on your screen. But with that, let's have a little discussion about the animation here. So I think this is great. I think this is good. At times, I think it looks absolutely amazing. Other times, like I said in my other review, it can seem a little bit like a cutscene from a computer game. But overall, I think this is much better than anything that we've seen for years. It's better than Combiner Wars, and it's definitely better than Power of the Primes, and I prefer it to something like a Cyberverse or something that's a bit more childlike. I think this is very grown up. Personally, I still prefer hand drawn, so you know, I still prefer the true anime stylings of something like Super God Master Force, which I think is beautifully done, the artwork on that. You know, the 86 movie, I still think nothing can really hold a candle to that, but I understand that things have moved on, and this is now, and you know, this is less expensive to produce than the hand cell drawn animation. But I do like the way that this is so dark. I don't think that on screen, I don't think we've ever seen a Transformers take that's this dark. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, guys, but I don't think we've ever seen anything that's as dark as this, and I think it really does stand out as something very different, and I really like this take. One of the complaints that I've seen is that people are concerned and don't like the fact that it's actually based on the toys, on the CAD drawings of the toys, and I think that it's great that the artists haven't taken no liberties with these character designs. I love it. It's really like my toy box or my collection has just come to life on the screen. As collectors, we always strive to try and buy the most cartoon accurate version and of a figure, and you know, these figures are cartoon accurate as soon as you buy them. I think it's absolutely great. You know, I know they haven't taken any liberties, which I think is a good thing, because when you look at the figures, that's how you buy them from the store. And there's no figures there like take RC, you know, historically RC, oh, she's impossible to turn into a figure. Okay, you don't get that problem here. You know, a lot of the figures that you get have to be parts formers to actually look cartoon accurate. With these ones, they're cartoon accurate, and I think it just adds a level of realism as well, that, you know, if you want this shape to become this is what needs to happen. I think maybe there's a slight I don't know, a slight mechanic inside me that just appreciates the way that it has to work. You know, if you want this to become this is how it works. So it adds a level of realism there that I don't think we've seen from a Transformers cartoon before, because they haven't taken many liberties, and I think this is great. However, I will say that this has probably led to one of my first kind of issues with the program itself, and that's the fact that some of the fight scenes, some of the hand-to-hand combat scenes in this seem extremely stiff. The quality on these seems to be very, very, very patchy. For example, the first fight between Prime and Megatron, it is literally like I was bashing two figures together. It doesn't seem to flow. It doesn't seem very fluid. It seems very awkward in parts, and I know that they're made of metal, so it should seem a little stiff, but yeah, because they haven't taken many liberties, that first fight really struck me as a real issue. I didn't get it with some of the other fight scenes, and certainly the more hand-to-hand combat fight scene between Prime and Megatron towards the end didn't seem as stiff, but definitely that first one really struck me as, wow. Is it the fact that they've had to go with the CAD drawings, or is this just the art style? But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. The hand-to-hand combat scenes, but the fight scenes when they're shooting each other, the particle effects, characters getting their heads blown off, and all those kind of things looks amazing. You know when they're having the fight scenes in the air, and Jetfire is fighting with people in the air, and they're shooting each other and they're chasing each other around. I think that is really, really, really good. So hand-to-hand combat, a bit of an issue for me, but the fight scenes, if they're using guns, is really, really, really good. The art direction, though, I think is spot on. Would it being dark and bleak and war-torn, Cybertron, this is the version that I've been waiting for. You know, this is the version of Cybertron I've wanted to see. The war, it feels like it's been raging on for years, and it kind of reminds me of the original Star Wars trilogy. When they're in the war, I think everything's dirty, everything is being used. That it feels like they're in a civil war. You haven't got time to shine everything up and make the bots look all shiny because they're engaged in a war constantly. The backgrounds are all outstanding. Everything is very different, whether it's the Desert of Rust or Megatron's Coliseum or just backgrounds in Cybertron. You could see real effort has been put into each location, and each feels like it's got its own little backstory, you know, including the Autobots art, the Autobots base, which eventually becomes the Ark. You know, everything has got its own little story, its own little background going on, and I really, really think it's great. One thing I don't like about the backgrounds in this program is the characters in the background. Now, this did start to get very, very boring, and this probably is one of my heaviest criticisms on this program, that, you know, I don't own Reflector or Scrapface, whichever one you wanna call him, and it really did put me off wanting to buy one. I do not want to see another Reflector. I do not want to see another Scrapface within this. You know, you saw, or for the cons again, you saw loads of Seekers in the background, or for the or you saw Hounds or Impactors in the background, lots and lots of Impactors in the background. And I think that, you know, this is what really, really stood out to me. You know, again, there was also a lot of side swipes in the background as well, and I'm not sure why they went this way. I know that maybe it was to keep the costs down, but, you know, they're using the same thing over and over and over and over again, especially when you think about all of the characters that weren't used in this show. You know, where were they? Where were all these other characters? They could have put them in. I can't see that how it would have cost too much to put some other ones in the background. You know, I mean, take Ratchet's medbay. All we saw there was the same recycled bots over and over again. You saw a Hound, you saw an Impactor, you know, you saw a Reflector. Those were the three that really stood out. But, you know, even there, they could have put some really cool Easter eggs in for us, where you could have seen Nightbird there, you could have seen Springer. Where the hell was Springer? You know, you could have seen Blue Streak, Slam Dance, you could have seen Ape Face. You know, just some fun little Easter eggs for us collectors that have been collecting these Siege figures, and it would have been nice to actually see them in there. So that really did kind of kind of get by the end of it really was a bit of a challenge. I hope as they move away from Cybertron, that in the Earthrise series we start to see a few more background characters. From all accounts, I think that this has been a hit. It's in the top 10 in the UK at the moment on Netflix, so that's a good going for the series. So well done to those guys. I think it's at number 7 or number 8 at the time of recording this, so it's great to see them in the top 10 on Netflix. Hopefully it's really taken root around the world, and that they're starting to see that people are really liking this, and that people want it to do well, and then the next two seasons will actually get some different people in the background, or some different things going on. And then my final issue, and this for me, this really is actually quite a big issue again that I have with the program, is that it's Transformers and they don't transform enough. They really don't transform enough. Now, I guess this could also be down to the script, but this has to be down to the animators as well. I'm sure that the script doesn't say they need to transform here. The animators could have taken some liberties, I guess, by saying that they need to transform here. There's parts when they're running away from other characters, but they don't transform, and you're thinking, well, you transform into a car. Why have you not transformed into a car and got away easier? Why are you running? It's really weird. There's Transformers that I really wanted to see what this TF, what's the alt version on Cybertron? How does this even work? Because things like Scrapface and who we see a lot of, and never see him transform, and Soundwave and things like that, I really don't like their alt modes at all in Siege. I think they throw away alt modes, and maybe I could have started to like these alt modes a little if I saw how they interacted within the series itself. But no, they don't transform, and yeah, that really is something that I think they need to work on when it comes to Earthrise. That the Transformers need to transform. We didn't see Wheeljack transform. We saw very little transforming of Transformers, and I think that is something that really let the series down. When Transformers transformed, the animation on it was great. The original noise was in there, which is nice to see. But I want to see them transform a bit more, and I've put that under animation, but I guess I'll cover it a little bit in the story as well. So that's really it. I mean, I have put some challenges forward here, but overall my take on this is that the animation is great. Things that they need to work on, but I definitely see this as building blocks, and I see this as a great start to the Cybertron trilogy. From an overall standpoint, I think the animation level was great, but there's just a few things I would like them to have brushed up on. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This is more of a discussion piece, shorter version, go a little bit more in depth on it. And guys, if you like what I'm doing around here, give us a like, a share and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright guys, in a bit, peace.